Well, Trey just dropped off this 94 Honda Fourtrax 300. He just got it a couple weeks ago. We went through it. We got issues with the Kickstarter, locked up. Motor's not locked up. It needs a top end, seal up the snorkel on it, air filter, etc. So we got a full top end kit here, new carb, stator, battery, filters, cylinder, everything. I'm going to work today of getting the engine out, setting it on top of the box so I can get it rebuilt. It's going to be somewhat of a long process, but I'm going to do them right. Get the racks painted up, go through every nut and bolt on this thing, make sure it's safe and don't fall apart. So, and fix little stuff like this. It's rigged. I don't want it rigged. So we're going to get it cleaned up for him and running right. So stay tuned. All right, we just got the airbox off, snorkel unhooked, got the engine yanked out of there. We got the engine up here now. Get ready to split the cases. I know we got some transmission noises. I think it's just clutch, but we're gonna pull it open and see. But the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this jug off and go ahead and get that top end done, gasket. This thing's got a pretty major oil leak. Obviously from all that RTV, it left a pretty good puddle inside my shop too. So we'll get this thing cleaned up and start splitting cases. All right, I got the valve cover off. See, we got a little bit of milkiness in there. I got my timing chain. I tried to get it top dead center as best I could with 11/16 in there. Wants to spin over too fast, so I marked it with a paint pen. We're gonna go ahead and pull the cam and timing chain off. All right, what we're gonna do now is pull out this acorn nut, that acorn nut, pull that bolt and that bolt and that one. We got the cam out, got the timing chain off. Took off timing chain tensioner. Tensioner's in pretty good shape. Spring's doing what it needs to do. Like I said, yeah, we're gonna pull off them bolts right there and go ahead and pull this head off. Well, we got the head off. I don't know if you can see inside that cylinder or not. There's a bunch of sand and trash in there where it took it in. When we got the four-wheeler, there was no air box, or there was an air box in it, but there was no air filter whatsoever. And I could look and tell that the air box was not sealed properly. So it's honestly no shock to me that this happened. We're gonna go ahead and get this jug pulled off. Get the new jug put back on with a new piston. All right, so we got the jug off, we got the piston exposed, and as I'm looking, if I can get that to zoom, there's just a ton of trash around the piston rings, scored a little bit right there, and just overall, definitely, well, it needed piston rings for sure, but we're going ahead and replacing the piston as well. The crankshaft's in tolerance, you know, side to side motion's good, up and down, no bueno. It's in tolerance, so we're going to pull the piston off now, get the circle clips off the side, and install the new one. All right, we'll cut to the next day, and it's still here. I just got off work a little while ago. Kind of got carried away on this thing and finished it up yesterday. I got my rings, got the pistons, adjusted valves, etc., etc. I doubled up on gaskets and RTV just to be safe. But yeah, we're gonna plug all these holes. Let's see. Maybe I can use this to plug. I'll cut the end off that and plug that, and then I'm gonna plug an intake We're gonna go ahead and pressure wash this engine. Probably should have done it before I built it, but that's okay. We're gonna drag this thing outside. There's an old piston. We're gonna drag this thing outside. You see we got a bunch of oil.
Billy Browning.
Hold on, getting a phone call. Well, after that abusive phone call, I gotta go back to work. So I guess we'll jump back on this tomorrow. All right, let's try this again. It's the next day. Now I'm gonna pull this thing outside, pressure wash it, plug up that exhaust intake, pressure wash this thing, probably put a little acid on it, get it real nice and clean, or try to get it as clean as best I can. This engine ain't seen soap and water probably since '94. So, cut to that. All right, well, we got the engine pressure washed. I think it come out all right. There's a few little spots that I couldn't get, but these match up a little bit better. Now we're gonna pressure wash the chassis and get it all cleaned up so we can slap this motor in. But before I slap the motor in, I gotta pull this clutch cover off. Obviously, you know, the Kickstarter's locked up, so gotta figure out why. I got back here somewhere a spring that Trey pulled out of it trying to fix himself. That didn't work out, so we'll get her dialed. All right, we got the clutch cover off. We got the spring in there. Brand new gasket. We're gonna slam this thing back together. All right, after we got the gasket on the clutch, I got the frame painted up, matte black. Just getting it ready to drop this motor in. Here's a wider angle of it. Thing's coming along pretty good. Well, I know you're probably expecting me to reassemble the whole thing on film, but had a super tight deadline. Had to get it done as soon as possible before the weekend. Sunday we started on the four-wheeler and I got it tore, as you see, all the way down. Put the entire top end in, and then Monday I got called into work. Tuesday I pressure washed the frame, pressure washed the engine, got it nice and clean, and then repainted the frame and did a bunch of little accessory stuff they wanted, speakers, things like that. Also pulled the side casing off to check clutches, trans, Kickstarter, etc., etc. By the time you're seeing this video, Trey has gotten rid of the foiler and decided that he wanted to go the boat route, which is fine. So you might see us build a motor next on a boat. But if you really enjoy this, please let me know. I do this a lot more than people actually think, and would love to actually film it. If I see that this goes like I want it to, then I'll obviously will film a lot more of us doing shop work, engine builds, etc., etc., and maybe you can learn something off of it too. But if you like it, subscribe, like the video, share it with your buddies, and I'll see y'all next time. Thanks.